Morning. We are in Matthew 8 and 3, where Jesus is dealing with the leper. And what would you have me do? He asks him. And he wants to be cleansed of being a leper. And Jesus says, I am willing, be cleansed. It's interesting to note that with the divine life experience of Jesus Christ, he's more willing to cleanse us than we are to be cleansed. So the key definition here is when Christ approaches us, are we willing to let go of the dis-ease that we are in, whether it's a disease of the physical or mental or a disease of the spiritual? Either way, Christ asks us, what would we want? And he says, I am willing to work with you on this. Are you willing to believe and follow me? Key context of all of this is it's one thing to be cleansed, but it's another thing to be made whole. So cleansed is the initial work, but being made whole by the power of the Holy Spirit, that's a complete internal, external work. In other words, the internal work manifests and shows itself in the external as we go about our daily life. Jesus is not supposed to be an item on the shelf that we call on when it's convenient for us, but rather his call to us is every day. What would you have me do? I am willing, be cleansed, be made whole. As we approach this day, we have a definite assignment today, and we have to inquire of the Lord, what's my assignment, and how is that going to happen? How is that going to be possible? It has to come from a clean heart and pure hands. So we have to ask ourselves, am I willing to be cleansed? Am I willing to be made whole? He's willing. Are we? It's not always our perception of what we think this is for. The last couple of days, we've talked about Lazarus. And if you looked at the external, the perception would be that, well, Lazarus was suffering, God doesn't care, why is he putting him through this? Only to find that the demonstration of his resurrection after the fourth day was for other people to believe. So it wasn't so much about Lazarus, it was Lazarus submitting to be faithful to God unto death. And then the resurrection of Lazarus was that others might believe. So how we perceive or how we look at things, the context of how we look at it, is totally different. Okay, so we have to find the context that God is looking at. What is he willing to do? What is he willing to perform? What is he willing to tell us? What has he told us? And then are we willing to go along with that? It works together. So our submission is to Christ, not to our own concept or our own interpretation. So there's the difficulty in the believer's walk, is our misunderstanding of the instructions or the will of God. So we have to find out what that is. And the only way you can do that is being in relationship with Christ and inquiring of him, what would you have me do? And that is how you jumpstart your Wednesday. I hope you have a great day. God bless.